Welcome back, everyone, to another reaction video. You guys have been relentless in asking me to react to. Now, I did a stream, I don't know, it's been more than a year ago now because I was still wearing glasses in the stream, and I haven't worn glasses for about a year and a half now. So it was before that. I did a stream where I ranked all the state flags. I'll be curious to see how his rankings compare to mine. And at the end, I'll throw up a link both in the description and also on the screen if you want to watch my live stream that I did where I ranked all the flags. Also, a special request. You see on the overlay of every one of these reaction videos, a link to my Instagram account where I post a lot of short videos and also pictures when I visit historic sites. Gonna be going to Gettysburg this coming week, and there'll be a lot of stuff I'll be posting there from the events that I'll be involved in Gettysburg. Would love to have you follow me on Instagram. As of this moment, I have 9,744 followers on Instagram. When you hit 10,000, you unlock some new features as a content creator on Instagram. So I need 256 of you who aren't already following me on Instagram to go there and do it right now. And if you don't have Instagram, create an account and follow me. I would appreciate it. Let's dive in. I'll put the link in the description to the original content. Let's go ahead and see what has to say. And here's one of the big problems that I have with a lot of our state flags, right, is that they violate these rules. I've never thought about it in those terms, but a lot of state flags are just like a blue field with the state seal on it, and they're horrible. They're just not, they're not good at all. Like the Jamaican flag right there, fantastic. Ohio's flag, we have a pennant, and it's simple, and it works. Scotland.
Unless you really
I like that he's laying out these rules because I'm guessing these are going to be the rules by which he judges all the state flags. So it's good to have a set of standards that you're using for that. And I like his standards.
thing
France. I like that. Yeah, we'll have to pull up mine at the end and see how my list compares to his because I did the same thing.
inside
nice. That's awesome. Told you, blue field, state seal, and then they added putting their name of their state on it too. Hate the blue flag with the seal on it.
Wisconsin.
Yep.
And
Be all in on the beaver. I like it. Yeah. Oregon does have a different one side than the other, which is so unique, and I agree the other side's better. No, because you're not even a republic anymore. It's a flag for something that does not exist. Yeah, the Bear Flag Republic is what it was often called. Texas. It is.
Why did you
it totally
draw him
is.
that way?
I never looked at it that close before. That is a scared bear. Dakota sisters.
Your names.
Now, I will say right off the bat, North Dakota's flag way better than South Dakota's flag. Putting the words on doesn't work. But North Dakota's is pretty good. And honestly, if you took the North Dakota off and made the rest bigger, it would be much, much better. Nah, see, if we're going to do this in the F tiers because they violate the rules, I'd put North Dakota more like on B or C. Yeah. Yeah, the Magnolia State. I mean, Mississippi's new flag is really, really nice, especially compared to the old one that, like a lot of southern states for a long time, had deep roots in its ties to the Confederacy. This is a solid flag. I'm not crazy about the red on the edge, but otherwise it's not bad. I might go higher with that
for
one
everyone
myself.
who
New Mexico. It's simple, but I like it. I like the simplicity of it. I like that it gives me like, you know, it feels like New Mexico, right? Like I don't know if there's roots in like Native American culture with that. I feel like there probably is. It works. Land of Enchantment. All right. You know, I don't know if I'd put it S tier. It's a little too simple for me, but it's good. It's good. It's up there. And this is probably one of the best seal on blue flags, right? At least there's a lot going on here. Again, violating his rule about having the name there, but there's a lot going on. Maybe too much, but it works. Ooh, yeah, fair
FB.
point. Yeah. Can I just take a moment and just comment on how I love how he's presenting this? It's really interesting. It's entertaining. It's funny. I love how he's got them as students and the colors match with their flag. Really well thought out presentation style. I like it.
Across it.
which the way you find then the North Star is you draw that line from the Big Dipper. So they've even kind of gotten that right. B for me now. I don't remember where I ranked these before, so I may be changing my rankings. About where I put it. I think if we're going to talk about flags that are most identified with their citizens, where you see the citizens representing the flag regularly, it's probably got to be Colorado, right? I mean, Colorado's flag, you see that design everywhere on shirts, on hats. People are very proud of it there. Yeah, I feel like there's a nice balance, right, between too much and not enough. Alaska, not enough. This, too much. And I will say this, I like the tricolor. I think the tricolor works. There's a lot of great national flags that have the tricolor. The Commonwealth Club. So what, Pennsylvania, Virginia, Kentucky, and who's the other Commonwealth besides those three? Massachusetts? Yep. Kentucky going with the history of the Civil War, where Kentucky was a very divided state in terms of its loyalties. Like a lot of other states, but Kentucky probably is the one that sends the most units to both sides, right? You know, Maryland, you've got a few on each side, not a huge representation on both sides. Virginia's got a few. Of course, it breaks into West Virginia, but Kentucky probably the most divided of all of them. Not bad. Specifically, Sic Semper Tyrannis, thus always to tyrants. Virginia's flag literally has the words spoken by John Wilkes Booth when he killed Abraham Lincoln. Now, I know it was Virginia's motto already, but maybe it would have been time to change that at some point. It's not a cape, it's a pennant. It's a pennant, but it works. B, I'll take B. It's Delaware. They call themselves the first state because they were the first state to ratify the brand new Constitution, which had just been signed in September of that year. And so they're throwing it up there on the flag. I've always really disliked that. That's nice. Something. If you took the seal off the buffalo, I think it's a pretty solid flag. Beautiful.
Torch out.
So Wyoming, yeah, a lot of empty space there, just like there is in a lot of Nevada as well. But it's a beautiful state. There's mountains and just amazing scenery. But yeah, I flew into Casper and drove 2 hours from Casper, and I don't think I passed a single gas station or place to get food in that entire time. And I was on a pretty main highway too. There you go. 100%. Yeah, totally. It's the best of that bunch for sure. That's a nice flag, though. Listen, I get his rule, but this is a really good flag. Our liberties we prize and our rights we maintain. It's got the black, the red, white, and blue thing going on. It's got the eagle looking menacing. I'm a huge fan of the Iowa flag. Take
Oh,
it. I'm not a huge fan of the Indiana flag. Always really bored me, and I don't like that particular gold on the blue. They wrote their name on it. No, this is like a cartoon eagle that my 10-year-old drew. It's a good drawing for a 10-year-old, but it's a bad flag. It's a really bad flag. Solid. This is a really good flag. And like I said, this is probably the one that the citizens of that state probably represent more than any state flag.
I-
Everything's bad about this one. The colors are bad, the design's bad. It's an awful flag. Yeah,
palate
true.
cleanse.
All right. It's not bad. It screams a little Confederacy to me just because of the elements involved, but it's not a terrible flag.
Bad.
Battleborn, they become a state during the Civil War, and at least they didn't put it smack in the middle like all the other ones did. They put it up kind of in the field in the left there. I know a lot of people love the Maryland flag, and I know there's a lot of history there. And maybe it's just because it appears on the stuff for the Baltimore Ravens, but I just can't get into it. I can't. Can't do it. Solid. I like it, and of course the three stars represent the three parts of Tennessee: West, Central, and West, Middle and East. I like it. Big fan. I love the condescending tone he is using when talking to these states. Again, I said it already, but I love the way he's presenting this. It's so good. And Washington's flag is bad. True. True. Ugly, but in the magnificent Maryland way. It's got the British, it's representing that Hawaii was at one time, it was discovered by the British, Captain Cook, all of that stuff. Okay. Okay with that. So, Oklahoma for a long time was known as Indian Territory. It was one of the places, the Trail of Tears, where a lot of the eastern Native American tribes were sent west and put on a reservation in Oklahoma. So obviously, strong ties to Native American culture. Number of reservations there to this day. I've had the chance to spend some time on some of those. I spent a day at the Chickasaw Reservation. Wonderful people, wonderful place. Can't wait to get back there someday and visit it again. It was just a wonderful day. I got to speak to a group of students there on a weekend. It was neat.
Look
Flag's
at
not
this.
great though. That's fair. I would say this: if you took is that the moon or what is going on the top left there? Took that out, made it a little simpler, it'd be better. But still, I like the blue on white. I like the combination of the colors. It's not terrible.
What?
And much like I would do with Ohio and probably ranking it higher than it should be, I feel like he maybe gives a little too much credit to North Carolina. But it's not terrible.
Isn't all
Brutal. Very, very cool flag, and lot of symbolism there. Not crazy about the color combination, but it's a good flag. It's a good flag. And I'm not just saying it because my mom lives there. Yep. And I guess it's a minor quibble, but technically it's not a Union Jack when it's flying like that. A Jack would be a naval flag. So I guess technically it should be the Union flag, is what we call it in that case. And I say that as someone who's got one hanging right behind him. You can't see it because of the green screen, though. They're
New
both
York.
terrible.
Somebody
Texas.
else.
He keeps alluding to Texas, but saving it for the end.
Your
Solid,
flag. I don't
solid
need to tell
flag.
you.
That's fair. I'd drop Maryland out of there and maybe move Colorado up a little bit, but otherwise, I'm not complaining too much about this so far. I think they're both using their roots in the Spanish Empire in this one. So I think in both the case of Alabama and Florida, it reminds me a little bit of I think it's called the Cross of Burgundy, which is it's same design, but it's got like jagged edges. But it's really what it is a St. Andrew's cross, which we see also in the flag of Scotland, for example, which is a blue cross on a white field. But I'm pretty sure, at least in the case of Alabama, it probably is a very sly way of harkening back to the Confederacy with the what we call the Confederate flag, but it's really the Confederate battle flag of the Army of Tennessee. And I think that's what Florida's probably done too. Is that a new flag?
What
Solid.
class?
That must be new. That is way better than the one with the blue field and the seal. That is a good flag. I like that a lot. I'd be
Class
okay with that.
dismissed.
Okay, so let's look back at his. Let's look at his list, and then I'm gonna pull up what my final list look like, and we'll just kind of compare and contrast a little bit here. So, just kind of taking a quick look here, I had Colorado. Oh, I did give Maryland S tier. Okay, and Ohio, very biased opinion, I know. We gave Hawaii, Iowa, Mississippi, New Mexico. That should not be that high. Is that Pennsylvania? Yeah, that should drop. Tennessee, South Carolina, Montana, or I mean Wyoming. Sorry, Wyoming, Arizona, California's. Yeah, I think that should drop. That's pretty fair. Is that Puerto Rico right there? It's real similar to the Ohio one. I actually had Alabama down really, really far. I don't think I'd put it as high as he did, but a little higher. But if you want to see my whole video where I did the stream and I kind of gave my reasoning for all of these things, I'll throw it up here on the screen. It's also down in the description if you want to check it out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon.